Hey everyone, welcome back. So we will be adding the flag to our app now, and to do that we'll be using this library here, flag icon CSS, which has an awesome list of flags for us, and we won't be downloading it here. We want to link to it to an online version of it available in a CDN. So if you don't know what a CDN is, it's basically an online repository of files and information, whatever you need. So in this case, we're going to be using it to grab a CSS file. So normally when you have your CSS in your app, you'll have a link tag like this. The type is like text/CSS. Then you have your href, which will link to your file, might be called styles.css. But we're using a CDN, our content delivery network. So we're going to basically grab that from online. So the source is somewhere online. So it'll look something like this. Link to your CSS file somewhere online. So I'm just going to get rid of this for now. So I'm going to use a website called cdnjs.com. Hit enter. And let me just zoom in so you can get a better look of that. So you can just Google this or just type it in directly like that, and it'll bring you to this website. So we're using flag icon CSS, so I'm just going to copy this and paste it into this search bar here, and it should bring it up. So it's this first one right here. So we just want to copy that, and that'll give us the URL for our flag icon CSS. And we'll head back into our app, and we're not going to be adding the link tag here to link to it, because with CodePen you can do that through the settings and go over to CSS, and it gives you some options here for linking to external CSS files. So just paste that in there, click save and close, and we should be good to go. We now have access to that CSS file, that flag icon CSS. Alright, so we already have an ID for our span tag for the flag, which is right here. So it's just an ID of flag. So let's go to JavaScript and figure out how to display the proper flag in our HTML. And actually, first off, before we do that, let's head over to flag icon CSS. So let me just zoom in for you as well. So you can either do a Google search or just type it, the URL directly like you see there. And let's go over to the GitHub and look at the GitHub repository. And if we scroll down, we should see some information on how we can use this. So let's see if there's some examples. Alright, right here in the usage. So you can see that for a span element, we need to add a class with the flag icon class, followed by the class name of whichever flag we want to display inside of our span. So this 2-letter country code right here is what needs to be changed in order to change the flag that will be displayed inside of our span. Right now in this example, it's GR, which is Greece, but if we want the span to show Germany, for example, we could use DE or US for United States. So we just change these last 2 letters here, and it'll display a different flag inside of this span. So back in CodePen, inside here, for span tag, if we add a class to it and use that same format like we saw in that GitHub example, so it's flag icon, and then I believe it's flag dash icon dash the 2-letter country code like that, then it'll display the flag for us. So let me just get rid of this placeholder text here for now. So we have the empty span, and now you can see we have the flag for Greece because we typed in GR. And if we change that to DE, it'll give us the flag for Germany, US, United States, IN, I believe that's India. Anyways, you get the point. So we want to add the flag dynamically with JavaScript, so we can't just type it in manually every time like we see here. This needs to be changed dynamically. So using the ID here, this flag ID, we can target this span tag in JavaScript, and then we can start changing the class dynamically. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this here, because this will be all handled in JavaScript. I'll open up our JavaScript here. So let's start by creating a variable called CC for country code, and this will hold our 2-letter country code it'll grab from the API. So I think it's country_code. And actually, let's open up that API just so I can show you what we're actually grabbing. So I'm just going to copy that and paste it into here. So remember, it's passing in this data object into our function here. This data is basically just the name of the object that we get back from here. So it's just basically the name of all of this here. So we do data.country code, and inside here we should have country code, which is right here, and it just gives us a 2-letter country code. So in this case it's US. In your case it'll be whatever country you're in. Back here. So CC is for country code, but if you notice, it gives us the country code in all caps, and we need it to be in all lowercase because this is what the flag library expects. So if you go back here, you'll see that it's written in lowercase here. So it's lowercase g, lowercase r. If we do uppercase, it's not going to work. And our API gives us the country code in uppercase letters. So to fix that, we'll use JavaScript's toLowercase method to simply transform the uppercase country code we get to be lowercase. So I'll zoom in here and we'll do dot to lowercase. Just append that method onto there, and it's as simple as that. So now it'll change the 2 uppercase letters to the lowercase letters. Alright, so remember, we need to add 2 classes to our span tag. Right now, all we have, or all we're doing, is storing the 2-letter country code in our variable called CC. So let's store the entire text of the classes we need inside of our variable. So for the grease flag to display, you'll notice that in this example here, we have this flag icon class, and this flag icon dash whatever country code there. So this will change dynamically. So we'll just create a variable for that, and then we'll concatenate our country code onto the end of it. So let me show you what I mean. Actually, I'm going to do this all on the same line. So CC, set that equal to flag icon, which is that first class we need, and then flag icon dash the 2-letter country code, like GRDEUS, but we're adding that on with the JavaScript, so we're just going to concatenate that onto the end of it. So we can just do that with a plus sign. So plus whatever data is in here. So this will change dynamically. So for me right now, it's the United States. So it'll add plus US onto this. So this will give us the proper class name. Alright, we have the proper text now for our class. The one difference here is that we can dynamically add this last part here. Perfect, we're good to go to move on. So now what we have to do is add this class onto our span tag. So we want to dynamically add the class there with JavaScript, like that. So let me just erase that. It's actually a pretty simple jQuery method we can use to do just that. So we'll just do that down here with the rest of these methods here. So we want to grab a reference to our flag span tag, which I believe is just called flag. It's just the ID of flag. So we grab that with this jQuery selector, and then like we did before with changing the text, we're not going to use the text method though, we're going to use the add class method, and then we pass in the class that we want to add. So in this case it's just CC, so we'll just add that class to our span tag. Add our semicolon, and it's simple as that. So you should now be seeing the updated flag here displayed in that span tag. Alright, so let me just quickly go over what we're doing here. So first of all, we imported that flag icon CSS library here using a CDN. And then from our API here, we're grabbing that 2-letter country code and storing it in this variable here. And first, before we do that, we're making it lowercase, and then we're appending it or concatenating it to the rest of this text here so that we get the properly formatted class text. When we have that, we grab a reference to our span tag, and we add that class to it using this add class jQuery method, passing in that CC variable. So that adds a class to our span element here with the ID of flag, and we get the flag displayed here properly. Alright, so we are now one step closer to having a finished app. In the next lectures, we'll start adding the map using the Google Maps API. Remember, if you have any questions, feel free to ask away. I'll be here to answer them as best I can.